If you ever had a client that messaged you and the message looked something like, "Hey Tom, I'm just actually checking in because I want to know what's going on. Currently, I haven't received an update." That's not just a random message. That's the beginning of an escalation that can end in an actual refund. And if you had few of those every single week or every single month, you already know that the problem is not the client himself. The problem is your actual delivery system. So today I'm going to actually show you the 4-layer delivery system that stops client escalation before they actually happen, and how to build it so your business feels controlled instead of actually reactive. So let me give you an actual scenario, bring you some time back in 2025. I worked with an agency. They were doing about 42K a month. Good clients, also had solid results. But every week, something really felt off. Clients were asking, "Hey, can you just give me an update? Where I'm with this currently? What's happening with XYZ? Are we going to reach the actual deadline?" Nothing aggressive, but constant pressure on the actual founder. The founder thought, we just need to have a better communication. We just need to put somebody in that communicates better. But that wasn't the main issue. When we looked deeper, we found that, by the way, there's no actual structure for onboarding. There is no clear delivery stages, no visibility into actual progress itself, no defined ownership, and no clear expectations of what the delivery should look like. So every client interaction depended on somebody remembering what to actually do. That's not delivery, that's improvisation. We installed 4 simple layer systems, and within 30 days, escalation dropped near to actual 0. Not because clients changed, but because the system changed. So within this video, I want to give you absolutely everything you need to know. And not only you need to know, but what you need to have inside of your business so you can manage your clients much better and make sure that you have a higher success rate with your actual clients, and also have near 0% of escalation happening inside of your business. It all comes down to these 4 layers inside of the one system that I'm going to share. A quick disclaimer, this video, this entire training has been designed for coaches, consultants, agency owners, and B2B service providers. So that means if you are not B2B service provider, if you are not a consultant, if you're not an agency, if you're not a coach, this is not for you. But however, if you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, or B2B service provider, this is for you. Let's not waste any time and jump into it. So what you will actually learn by end of this entire video. By end of this training, you will understand 6 things. Number 1, why client escalations are system failure, not client actual problem. Number 2, the 4 layers of delivery every scalable business needs. Number 3, how to design delivery so clients feel progress without actually asking. Number 4, the key metrics that signal delivery actual breakdown. Number 5, the most common mistakes that cause escalations. And number 6, how to install this system step by step. So the core principle, clients escalate when certainty disappears. I was struggling with this for a very long time, specifically in my first agency. We used to have, let's say, a client on boards. We sold them on the actual offer itself, offering them actual leads and sales. But we didn't sell them the expectations they actually had. We didn't have clear boundaries of what a delivery process should actually look like. What do they expect from the delivery process? We didn't have like a groundbreaking understanding of what me as the business and they as the client actually expect. We didn't have like a common ground where we come together and be like, hey, this is how we're actually going to do it, and just come to an actual understanding. We didn't have that. And because of that, there was so much client escalations, always asking for an update. Hey, I haven't received an update. I told you guys I need an update. Like, can somebody give me an update? What's happening with XYZ? Are we going to meet the deadlines? I just paid for XYZ because somebody of your team actually asked me, are we actually using it, or am I just spending money on waste? Hey, I haven't received like any updates for a week. And because there were so many clients being onboarded, I consistently was under the pressure to just like show up, speak, communicate. And then there would be like, we would jump on a call with actual clients. The client would be like, hey guys, I haven't heard anything back from you. I don't know, like this is working, not working. Like even if you, for example, like one of the clients called Michael, he was like, hey, even if, let's say, you're not doing anything and you can't give me an update because you are building something, just let me know, hey, there's no updates currently, we are just actually building. We didn't even have things like that. And the more clients we actually onboarded, the more we started to actually struggle, right? So that's that. So clients usually escalate when the certainty disappears, when there's no clarity around the fulfillment process itself as well. Not when the results are really bad, but there's no really certainty of what's currently happening, what should happen, what should we expect. There's no common ground. And when clarity is missing, that's when usually escalation occurs. So your job is to create a system where clients always know what is actually happening, what is next, and who owns what. So when I say who owns what, you must be responsible. Say, hey, we have communication. This person is responsible for communication. You have them in your actual communication channel. Use them as your point of contact. Now they know to contact them for any updates rather than looking for you, looking for somebody else. The problem with us was that we didn't have like a signed point of contact. And so in my previous agency, what ended up happening was like people would message either me, the co-founder, they would be messaging other people, and then they'd be messaging the VA, and then the guy that's actually doing the fulfillment, they'd be actually messaging, and everybody would just be bothered, right? And because of that, it takes more time away from actually the fulfillment as well. So the 4-layer delivery system, this is the actual structure, right? Number 1, expectation layer. Then number 2, the process layer, visibility layer, and most of all, ownership layer. If one layer is missing, escalations will start. The reason I'm giving you this entirely here is because this what happened to me, and I have so many examples I can give you. So layer number 1, expectation layer, which is really important because at the start of any relationship, we need to kind of meet expectations. What's gonna happen, right? So to give you a good analogy, let's say you and your girlfriend moves into a brand new apartment. You never have ever lived with nobody. This is the first time you move in with somebody. And for example, before that, let's say your mom, your dad was doing the laundry, they were doing the ironing, they put the clothes in for you, they were doing the cooking and everything. And now, let's say you move in with your girlfriend or your fiance, and you kind of expect her to do everything. But there was no clear expectations of what has to be done inside the house, who's doing what, who's doing the grocery, who's doing the clothes, who's doing the washing, who's doing the drying, who's like, there's no expectations. And let's just say, so you just assumed that she knows already what she has to do, and you assume that, hey, she's going to be doing all the things that probably my mom or dad was doing, right? And so now you keep living, and suddenly your spouse, your girlfriend, or your, let's say, your boyfriend, husband, are not happy. And the reason they're not happy is because there was no clear expectations actually met. Now, let's say they are cleaning up and you're really messing up the house. Maybe you're leaving your laundry all around, unwashed dishes. There was no clear expectations. So now suddenly one day they just like explode. Like, hey, you know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Like, I'm doing absolutely everything in the house. Like, this is too much. It's like you're a child, XYZ, right? That happened to me as well, by the way. So now what ends up happening is, because of those, there was no clear expectations. Now you escalate the actual argument. It goes into escalation. But after that, let's say if you have come to an agreement like, hey, you know what, I'm going to do XYZ, you do XYZ every single week, this has to be done, and you like kind of have an organizational table around, now the expectations are really clear. And so the same happens in the business. The expectations have to be aligned early, because if they are misaligned early, that's when escalations usually will happen, right? So what this solves, once you have expectation layer, this solves a couple things. Most escalations begin before delivery even starts, because there was no clear expectations of what to actually expect from fulfillment, right? Because expectations are unclear, that's when usually everything goes wrong. So where founders go wrong, they sell the actual outcome, right? We will grow your business, we will improve your performance, we will get you the leads, we will do the ads for you, we will close the deals for you, but they don't define timelines, deliverables, communication rhythm, the onboarding process, the journey itself, and that's what starts causing the confusion in actual clients' eyes. So what must be defined? Before delivery starts, the client must know what exactly is being delivered, right? So the same in your relationship, you must need to know what to expect from your partner, what to expect from your spouse, what you expect from your husband, from your wife, right? There has to be clear expectations, okay? Like, you have to sit down and go through those expectations, because otherwise, if there's no clear expectations, which you do whatever you want, someone is not going to be happy. They're going to escalate an argument, and because of that argument, the relationship is slowly going to start to kind of break. Okay, and you can already see that happening in a lot of relationships. Why? Because there was no clear expectations of what the relationship should actually look like, what a household should look like, what the weekly operation should look like, what our love life should look like, what our sex life should look like, what our family life should look like. There's no clear expectation. And because we don't have clear expectation, the husband sometimes says, hey, I'm going to go watch a match with the boys. Or the wife says, hey, I'm going out with the girls. And you end up kind of doing what you prefer, but there's no expectations on like when, what happens, right? And you end up doing more what you think is right for yourself, and the other partner is doing what they think is right for themselves. And then what ends up happening is you kind of are slowly breaking apart. Why? Because there was no clear expectations of what we are doing. There was no plan in place to really understand of how we're going to grow our relationship. This is why currently in 2026, if you look at the market, a lot of relationship coaches currently are thriving. A lot of relationship advisors are currently thriving because there's a lot of relationship problems. Okay. And the only reason it's happening is there's no clear expectations, no clear communication, no clear of like signals. There's nothing. And that's usually escalates in huge arguments. That's why every household would have about 5 to 7 arguments every single week. And they could be even small, sometimes for like no reason. So if you don't have timelines, deliverables, and communication rhythm, that's where everything goes south. So what must be defined? Before delivery starts, clients must know, hey, what exactly is being delivered here, right? What are we going to be delivering? Like, what is the relationship going to look like? What results are actually realistic in the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, right? And when? What communication will look like, okay? Like, what are the expectations? What are the results that we're expecting? What are the journey? What are the rules around communication? Everything has to be done up front, okay? So example, instead of like, we will manage your campaigns, or we will get the leads for you, or we will sell, or we will do the mindset coaching for you, or I will jump on with you and help you to get fit, you say, hey, week 1, we have the onboarding plus the actual audit. So now it's really clear, right? Okay, week 1, I'm expecting onboarding and actual audit. Week 2, and week 3, we do implementation. Week 4, plus optimization and actual reporting. Now it's really clear, right? Week 1, we just get onboarding, audit, awesome. Week 2 and 3, implementation. Week 4, optimization and reporting. Simple, right? So the key insights here is unclear expectations create future escalations. So metrics to watch. The percentage of clients keep asking you the same question like, hey, what is happening? Can I get an update? I used to have our DM that was in Slack before. We had it full of messages. Hey, what's going on? Can just somebody give me an update? Can somebody tell me what the heck is going on? I haven't received an update for the last 4 days, and I was promised an update 2 days ago, never received it. Like, are you still kind of working on my campaign? Can I see my campaign? Some clients even went like bizarre. They were like, hey, I am demanding somebody send me a Loom, or somebody jump on a call with me and show me what the heck is going on, right? And the reason these things are happening is not because we don't want to do good by the client. It's because there was no clear expectations met at front, right? We didn't met each other's expectations. We didn't go through step by step of what is going to happen, how the fulfillment is going to work, what the process looks like, what the journey looks like, what the implementation looks like, optimization, reporting, so on and so forth. And because of that, a lot of escalations happen, right? So if you currently have high expectations, that means, like, not high expectations, if you have high percentage of people asking you, wait, what's happening? Can you give me an update? That means expectation layer is currently broken inside of your business, okay? So then let's move on to the layer number 2. This is the process layer, right? So removing the chaos from the actual delivery. What this solves? This solves inconsistent execution. The problem usually is most teams deliver differently for every client, okay? And why does that happen? To give you a good example, we used to have 2 main systems. We worked with setters and actual email. We would have a client coming in, right? And one client would get everything set up in 14 days, and then they would be running in the next, let's say, in the next after 14 days they set up, next 2 weeks they're like kind of running, getting some appointments. We had some clients that only got launched in a month, right? Why? Because there is delays, there's confusion, there's inconsistent quality. How do we make sure that the quality is always high? How do we make sure that there's no confusion, there's no delays? We give deadlines also to the client when things have to be done. And so that keeps us accountable and it keeps them accountable for their own results, because we have to work like hand in hand. So what a real process actually looks like. Every client follows the same structure: onboarding, strategy, execution, optimization, and reporting. There is no kind of, let's just make the process for this client, it's going to be different, onboarding is going to be a different day. I onboard all the clients at the same day. Right now, like in this business, I onboard them exactly the same day, same time. Usually, if I have many clients to onboard, they will be happening at Wednesday or Thursday, right? So 2 days for actual onboarding. I don't have it like spread out through the week, because I have time and date for actual onboarding the clients. So if I have clients coming in from last week, let's say they're coming in from Tuesday to Wednesday, they're going to be onboarded this week, Wednesday. They're not going to be onboarded like the same week, Wednesday, because that week is for the previous week clients that are coming in, right? So everything for me onboarding is systemized. Strategy wise is all systemized, all templates. Everything is shown what the strategy is going to be, so they know from the beginning of what the strategy should actually look like, right? Execution, optimization, and reporting. So example, to give you an example, instead of like, let's see what this client needs, right? You define exact steps, exact timeline, and exact outputs. So for us currently, they go through like intelligence intake form. That intelligence intake form automatically analyzes what that business is actually going through, what needs to be installed, what's their biggest constraint, how the constraint has to be actually solved. That entire intake form gets sent to the actual team. The team actually comes up with, we have 3 main systems that we install in businesses, right? Those main systems that we install in businesses, we have a process of how we actually decide of what and how we're going to install in businesses. So the team makes the decision. So then we have exact steps of what is going to be installed, what timelines, how long is it going to take, and the exact outputs and everything as well, right? So to give you a good example, we had a client sitting at 35K a month. The delivery was fully custom. The biggest problem ever is when somebody has like a fully custom delivery system. It's like every client that comes on to the actual business is being fulfilled completely different from the previous client. And couple problems with this, just getting a little bit out of the topic, but quickly gonna mention this, is when you have a custom delivery, what ends up happening usually you waste more time on clients. Each client now, instead of, let's say, average clients would take 5 hours of delivery, now because you're going custom, some clients could take 3, some could take 8, and so now you're inconsistent with actual time delivery as well. And also because of that, because a lot of your energy goes into custom, you can't really scale custom. But you can scale standardized, and that's a big problem, okay? The custom is not really scalable, but standardized really becomes scalable. So what we did, we also standardized the process. So now we have faster execution, fewer errors, and less founder involvement. And that's a big change. So the key insights is here. Consistency builds actually trust, not creativity. A lot of founders, a lot of businesses think like, hey, if I just give them a custom build solution, it's going to be like high-end, premium. We sound like high-end company. No. What ends up happening, if you are offering that to every single client for no reason, like just because you don't have standardized process and you're like, hey, I'm just going to offer custom, eventually your systems will break because the time, the revenue, the profits, and everything else is not going to match. So it needs to happen what needs to happen inside of your business is that you standardize the entire fulfillment, okay? So the metrics to watch out here for is delivery cycle time. How long actually tasks take? How long does it take to fulfill an actual client? If inconsistent, process is really weak. If let's say one client takes X, another one takes Y, then that guy takes Z, and there's completely different times, like your fulfillment process is inconsistent. Let's move on to layer number 3, visibility layer, right? Remove the client uncertainty. the biggest cause of escalations is clients don't see the progress. And that was the biggest for me. And that's why they ask always the question. It's like, what is happening? How far are we from booking the first leads? Are we currently seeing any, like, are the emails landing in the inbox? Do we see any response rate? When should I be seeing appointments? Like, bum, 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 bum. Hey, we're coming near the 45 days. Haven't seen appointment yet. Want to see the appointment. What is happening? Right. And that happened at the start when I was building my, kind of like one of the first agencies ever. When I tried to build it, like that was a couple of years ago, that was the main issue. It was like, how can we maintain the certainty of our actual clients? Okay. So obviously now I'm helping more businesses to not make the same mistake. And this is also why I'm making this video, because from personal experience, it's like your clients always want to see progress. So even, like, gonna give you the most simplest example ever. Even if you go on Google Drive, you open an Excel spreadsheet, and you just type in numbers there, what you are doing, what's the progress, like maybe there's some QAs you can put in, you can put some deadlines, you can put maybe a project timeline of what's being worked, right? Hey, working on a landing page currently. And then beside it, you could be like completed, in progress, revising, right? And now when they log on to that dashboard, you can actually share that, just send them the link. Now they can see what's being done and what's not being done, right? And just by having that, they have so much more certainty, and they stop asking you questions, right? So a simple thing as an Excel spreadsheet could change the entire game for you, okay? You don't need anything fancy. You don't need to give them looms and calls. Just a simple Excel spreadsheet where they can actually log on, and you can put in like just a couple numbers in. You can put in like what's being worked on. You can put it in like, hey, in progress, completed, or like revised. And that itself will give them so much more clarity inside of the project itself, and so much relief as well, because they can start seeing the actual progress. Okay, so important truth here is, even if work is happening, if the client doesn't see it, it doesn't actually exist. Okay, so it's the same as, let's say I hire a sales guy, okay? And I'm saying, I need you to send 200 DMs. And I want you to give me a report by end of every single day. How much DMs did you actually got sent? What was the reply rate, show up rate, everything, blah, 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 right? And so now I'm just receiving actual text message, right? It was like, I'm just receiving, hey, I done it, everything's good, I'm working. In my mind, it's like, hey, I'm not seeing the numbers, I'm not seeing really what you are doing, I'm not seeing nothing, I'm just hearing from you like, hey, we are working, I'm doing the work, like everything is good. Would you not think to yourself that, hey, I'm not really satisfied with this because there's no way of me actually seeing what's being done and what the actual progress looks like? Like there's no way of seeing the CRM that he actually did the 200 DMs, right? And the same scenario applies here when you try to fulfill your clients. You may say to your clients, hey, we are working currently, we are busy, yes, we're going to be meeting the deadlines. You can tell them all the beautiful things. But in their mind, if they can't see the work, it doesn't exist. So that's why that little dashboard that I just said, that you can just go onto the Google Drive, go to the Excel spreadsheet, and start typing in like things that you are doing, execution. You can even write down all the things that have to be done for that project. And then beside them, you can be like, hey, completed, in progress, or revision. So now when they log on to that dashboard, they can actually see if the work is being done. It takes out the entire uncertainty from the picture, okay? What you must provide, again, clients should always know current stage, progress made, next steps. Okay, and that's why that little Excel spreadsheet can really help you. Simple implementations, weekly update from what was done, what was happening now, and what was next. And so even this one, you can sometimes, let's say if you have the dashboard, you can add notes, like say weekly notes, and then you can add weekly notes of what's going to happen next, what should be done next, and what are the next steps, right? And that takes the uncertainty away from your actual clients as well. So a couple tools. Obviously my biggest one is to do the Google Docs. Like you don't have to complicate it too much, but if you want to really go deeper, you can go into Notion, But most importantly, you can use just simple dashboards like Google Docs, which works perfectly fine. I want to stay away from the complexity, because you can get really complex. You can spend your money on the latest like softwares. You can go as far as you can. But end of the day, you also need to think about the end customer journey. Like, you don't want them to go through many things just to see the progress. You just want, hey, there's the link, click the link, everything's there for you, right? Really simple, really fast as well. Just to give you like a real example, when we worked with an agency, they added a weekly update template, right? Escalations dropped just by 70%. I'm gonna keep mentioning the Excel spreadsheet, but the Excel spreadsheet that we implement in businesses, it drops the escalations massively. Like, I had a company there, a consultant came in who was consulting with different businesses, and he was like, hey, that's my big problem, is that I always get the message like, hey, what's happening? Can I get an update? Sometimes the person even gets bothered on the actual WhatsApp number as well. They just hack him over the WhatsApp. So what we did, we just simply installed, for a consultant, we installed just a simple Excel spreadsheet, right? Now, he said, like, maybe one person asked me a question related to the actual dashboard, and that's about it. Most of the clients don't ask because they can see everything live on the actual dashboard. And so the same for agencies, same for coaches, same for B2B service providers. If you use a dashboard like an Excel spreadsheet, really simple steps that have to be completed, and currently what is in progress, what is being completed, what is in the revision, like, you take the entire uncertainty away from your clients, feel more clear, everything is kind of in a frame, in a picture, they understand what's happening, they have no doubt. So metrics to watch: numbers of status check messages, right? If you get like a status ask complete every single week or every single day, someone's asking you for status, then you know the visibility is really broken inside of your business, okay? So the layer 4 is ownership layer. Remove the decision bottlenecks. What this solves: founder dependency, which is the biggest one when most businesses cannot be actually scaled. The problem is, when no one clearly owns outcomes, everything flows back to the actual founder, right? That slows down absolutely everything. So let's say you maybe have a contractor, you maybe have like a team member, you maybe have somebody in there, and you know that they're responsible for the work. But because your clients don't know that they are the ones that are assigned to it, all the clients are going to be just coming back to you, okay? If you wanted to make it even more clear, you could have somebody working on the delivery and somebody helping that delivery to be actually communicated back to actual clients, right? Now it's really clear, hey, for all the communications, you go to Sarah, and then Sarah is going to go to John, who's responsible for actual delivery. Now the communication's happening back and forth. It doesn't take so much time as well. And it's much more clear. And now you as a founder, you as an actual business owner, are no longer actually involved. It saves you more time. You can take that time and focus on actually scaling and growing your business. So what must be clear here, okay? For every stage, you need to have who owns onboarding, execution, communication, and actual reporting. So example, instead of like, hey, the team will just handle it, which is like which guy in the team, and it's like, does it look like the entire team? So it's the same, give you a good analogy, is like, hey, just pass the ball to the team and the team will score the goal. It's like, which player am I passing? Because I'm not going to be passing the ball to the team. I need to pass the ball to a certain player that's going to actually score the goal. So if you are vague, like, hey, just pass it to the team and the team will figure it out, that's where the problem really happens, okay? So you need to define things like, hey, Joan owns onboarding, Sarah owns execution, founder only reviews weekly. Now it's really clear. There's no guessing. There's no like, hey, who's going to do what? What's the deadline? What's happening? We don't really know, right? Everything's really clear and simple. Just to give you another client example, we worked with an agency doing 50K, founder involved in every single decision. I mean, like every reviewing, quality checks, checklists that like he made himself, but forgot to give to his actual team, which kind of didn't ring the bell for me, because I said to him like, hey, why would you not just give that same checklist to one of your team members, and now you don't need to check the checklist yourself. You can give the checklist to somebody else and they're just going to check it. And so even if you don't have a checklist, just come out with a checklist and somebody could do a quality check. It's just going to take so much hustle out of your day, right? So the founder was involved in every decision. What we did, we assigned actual ownership. Results were faster delivery, less bottlenecks, and higher team accountability as well. So the key insights here is speed comes from ownership clarity. When you have ownership, you know exactly to who to go for answers and what answers to actually get from that person. When you don't know who owns what, it's just you're living in a chaos because there's no defined roles inside of the business. So the metrics to watch out here for is number of decisions escalated to the founder. If like all the decisions are being escalated to the founder, there is unclear ownership. Now, depending on what stage you currently are, maybe you are there at 10 to 20K and maybe you don't have anybody inside of your business. So that means, yes, maybe you are doing everything, but if you are currently sitting anywhere between 20, 40 to 50K and you have somebody in, that's when should really you start thinking about the ownership of who owns what inside the business, for who's responsible for what, who takes accountability, okay? So how these 4 layers work together. This is really critical. You don't fix escalations with one thing, you fix them with actual structure. And the system flow is really simple. Expectations sets clarity, process ensures consistency, visibility builds trust, ownership enables the actual speed, okay? If you follow all these 4, then there will be absolutely no problem for you to actually scale your company. Usually the scaling problem comes in, just to give you a good example, when one of these are actually broken or actually missing. So let's say you have leads coming in, everything's happening good, but your delivery really sucks, right? And because it sucks, you can't take more clients because the more clients you take, the more stretched you are. And the more stretched you are, the more quality actually drops. The more quality drops, the more clients are walking away. So this is why systems must be installed inside of your delivery process. So if one breaks, everything feels really unstable as well. So let's say from your delivery system, if one of these 4 systems are missing, it will really feel unstable as well, right? So common mistakes that I see is trying to fix communication instead of fixing the actual structure, right? Because that's the biggest one, is this usually that people think. I'm just going to underline that. Most business owners think that it's just communication. We need to get a VA, they're going to do all the communication, everything's going to be lovely. But that's not the case. It's not usually the communication, it's the structure of how you actually deliver. Customizing delivery too much, not tracking delivery metrics, founders staying too involved, and no defined client actual journey. So what to do first, okay? So the step 1 is define your delivery stages, okay? Just define them. Step 2, write expectations clearly. Step 3, create a weekly update system where you can update the entire system every single week. You have feedback for the system. Step 4, assign ownership per actual stage as well. What founders should feel before this. If you're currently feeling reactive, pressured, and consistently needed, then these are the steps you need to follow, because after installing these steps, you will feel more control, more clear, and less actually involved in day-to-day, okay? Client escalations are not usually random. They are predictable because a lot of systems are usually have something missing. They happen when clarity is missing, structure is weak, visibility is low, and ownership is really unclear. So fix those 4 things and escalation will automatically disappear or go near to actual 0, because now you have pure clarity inside of your business and your clients can also see what's happening. If your business is growing but delivery feels chaotic, don't fix the actual clients. You need to fix the system and the actual structure. So before you go, ask yourself this: which layer is actually breaking inside of your business right now? Is it expectations? Is it process? Is it actually visibility, or is it ownership? Because that's where your next problem is actually coming from. So drop that into comments, and what I will do, I will try to really help you to understand what needs to happen inside of your business in order for you to actually fix, if it's expectations, process, visibility, or actual ownership. You can give me a little bit of description of like what exactly your business is, how many people you have currently working in the company, and then I will try to really give you a structured guidelines of what has to happen inside your business and how can you actually fix it, right? So which layer is the weakest in your delivery right now, right? I will read every single comment and I will really help you identify what to actually fix first and how to actually fix it. And if you want to build business where clients don't chase you and delivery feels controlled and growth doesn't create chaos, then just subscribe to the channel as well, because I really release many important core videos around systems that help the founders to really understand what is currently really missing in the business in order for the business to be scalable, but not only scalable, most importantly, stabilized at the point where you can actually feel like you have a successful business. Because the revenue doesn't usually indicate success. You could be sitting at 60K, but if you're stressed out of your head, involved in absolutely everything, and you can't take even 2 days off your business, then you don't have a successful business. What you have is a really high, stressful paying job, okay? So also, when you subscribe to my channel, I will break down how to scale from 20 all the way to 100K plus using real actual systems, not guesswork. And this will really help you to understand what business should really look like from different stages. What must happen inside of your business when you are at 20K? What must happen if you are at 40K, 50K, 60K? What must happen when you are coming near to actual 100K plus? Now, if you want to take this even step farther, let's say like, hey, I want to get to the root of this. I want somebody to really help me. What we could do, we could jump on one-on-one call. You can book that into the bio. There's a link directly to the actual calendar. You can book that in. We can go step by step, and I can really help you to understand what must happen inside of your business to take it to the level where you actually want. If that sounds really interesting, you can just go in and book the call in there. Otherwise, drop a comment if you want me to really help you to outline and help you to really fix the current constraint inside of your business in delivery. And if you really enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. I will help you to grow your company.